You're still tuned into your Feel Good Breakfast show, and always so good to have you at the start of a brand new day. Now, author of 5 books, Stacey Fru is the youngest author in Africa, if not the world, who wrote her first book, Smelly Cats, without her parents knowing this at the age of 7. Now, this book was approved by the South African Department of Basic Education as suitable for young learners from early childhood through to primary school. Now, Stacy won 3 awards for this book and her other works before her second book, Bob and the Snake, was published. And she's an inspirational young lady who wants to keep inspiring South Africans. And she believes life is not a bed of hatred. You grow and you become better when you fight to spread love and have fun in a child's kind of way. Stacy joins us this morning to talk about where she found all of this confidence to share her story and how exactly other children can get involved in the Cadbury Dairy Milk Glass and Half project presents There's a Story in Everyone. Stacy, so good to see you. You've got a stunning looking office. You mean business. How are you?
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm good. And yourself? And thank you for having me on the show this morning.
Very good, very good.
Stacy, I can't even believe that you're only 13 years old. I mean, you were fortunate to become a published author at such an unbelievable age. How did you first discover storytelling and, the story that you wanted to share with everyone?
Yes, so the story goes a while back when I was still around 7 years old, and my mother graduated with her master's thesis. And I saw this as, just a regular thing, a regular happy event, until I started seeing everyone praising this book. So I put 2 and 2 together, and I came to the conclusion that my mother had written this book without me. So I took it upon myself to say that, okay, she has written this book without me. I'm going to go ahead and write my own book without her. So that is what really kickstarted my writing journey. But ever since then, I was always a child that loved reading because my parents pushed that onto my siblings and I at an extremely young age, which also explains how I was able to write a book of that caliber at such a young age. But ever since then, I've noticed the importance of reading, and I want to advocate for that. And I want to get other children who are passionate in just about anything to share their stories.
Well, you certainly are making a very strong case for it right now. Now, your story points that we are all destined to live different, unique lives, and that sometimes fights have to happen. So why was telling this story so important to you?
Because, when growing up in a household as busy as mine, I have so many other siblings, and I'm always surrounded by my family. There constantly fights. And although most of the time they aren't harmful, you must learn from your mistakes and to build these bonds, because you need a support system in order to achieve whatever you want to achieve. And it also goes back to having a unique story. Not everyone is going to lead the same life. So you have to choose the path you want to live, and don't try and copy or follow others, and just be yourself.
I am so in awe of you and all the advice that you can give us. But maybe what piece of advice do you have for other children, who want to share their stories?
When it comes to sharing your story, there are no limits as to how long, to how short, in detail or in depth that you can go. Just share the story that feels right to you. When it comes to me sharing my story, I can talk on for ages. But in order just to maintain interest as well, but to tell someone about myself, I keep it, nice and short. So when it comes to telling your story, look for key points that you want to share with the world, because this opportunity is something that many fail to see, because there is a story in anyone, and it's up to you to choose how you use that story to impact others.
Yeah, wow. And I'm sure that there are many children out there who'd love to share their stories as well to help inspire our orphan and vulnerable children in South Africa, very special children in extraordinary circumstances. Now, you're working with Cadbury Dairy Milk to help make this a reality, to help children spread their stories. So how can other children get involved?
So as I mentioned earlier, there is a story in everyone. And with the Cadbury Dairy Milk SA Glass and a Half presents There's a Story in Everyone, you can share your story via an entry mechanic or a WhatsApp bot. All you have to do is text hi to the certain number, and it'll give you details about how to share your story. You can share it in the form of a video, a text, or even a PDF. We are more than happy to look over the story. And the most inspirational stories will be compiled into an ebook that will be shared with orphaned and vulnerable children across South Africa, and will be available for download from the Cadbury Dairy Milk SA's website. So the whole point of this is to share your story to inspire others so that we can change the lives of those who grew up not having much.
Staceys Fru, the youngest
Wow.
author in South Africa, in the world. Thank you so much for taking time out of, I'm sure, a busy schedule in a 13-year-old's life.
I mean, in that office, you know there's real
know.
business going down.
So thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I hope that you are inspired. Man, you have to be. You have to be. There's so much to life, and Staceys Fru has just shown us just what you can achieve at the tender age of 13, and I'm sure there's so much more in her bright career to come. Now, whether real or imagined, Cadbury Dairy Milk believes there's a story in everyone, and we're encouraging all of you South Africans to be generous with your stories of hope and to share them. Now, the 20 most inspirational stories will be compiled into an ebook, as you heard, and shared with orphaned and vulnerable children all across South Africa.
So come on, South Africa, please do share your story and inspire others. Add 087-240-6488 to your WhatsApp contacts and follow the prompts. You can share your story as a Word document, PDF or video recording. Anything will do as long as it's inspiring and uplifting and helping those children in need.
Cadbury Dairy Milk Glass and a Half project presents There's a Story in Everyone. Visit cadbury.co.za/storytime for more information on how to share your inspirational story.